Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Friday, December 11th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20, and good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. It's Open Line Friday here on To The Point, where we give you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to call in or message us with anything that you want to share, your thoughts, opinions on situations or something happening in your community that we need to be made aware of. This is a platform to do so. 435-2041, that's the landline number. That's also WhatsApp number. Please only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can also participate on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, host.
Good morning, Miss Jeremiah. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. By you? How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, I just want to read this morning from Mark chapter 9. I want to read from verse 17 to 27. 27. And it is about what I would term as an epileptic case. And when, certain things that people go down with, like sickness, and, we give it a name. And there was this epileptic case, as we would call it, that was brought up. So I just want to read part of that story this morning. Verse 17, and one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, who hath a dumb spirit. And wheresoever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth and gnasheth with his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. He answered and said unto them, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him to me. And they brought him unto him. And when he saw him, straightway the spirit tear him, and he fell to the ground and wallowed, foaming. And he asked his father, How long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, Of a child. And oftentimes it cast him into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And Jesus answered unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father of the child cried out and said unto him with tears, Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief. And when Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, I charge thee, come out of him, and enter no more into him. And the spirit cried and rent him sore, and came out of him. And he was as one dead, insomuch that many said, He is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. What I want to highlight in this passage here is the father of the child. Now, he said to him, Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief. So it seems like, well, if he believes, how come then he confessing unbelief? Because that is based on the question he asked. He said, Lord, if you can do anything, help us. If. So a lot of us say we believe God, we trust God, but really we do not believe. He said, if thou canst do anything. He was speaking to the Son of God, the one who came to say, if thou canst do anything, help us, have compassion and help us. And so he admitted then, Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief. Okay. And I wish a lot of us would tell God, Lord, I want to believe it, but I don't really believe, because when you believe, it brings out of you certain action or reaction. So sometimes we say we believe, but we act with gross unbelief.
All
Have a
right.
blessed day, darling.
You too.
God bless you. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Thank you very much. Open line Friday here on To The Point. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Just a moment, please. Sorry about that, Blossom.
No problem.
Yes. Something, I went walking. I normally go walk in different places and different days. And I went walking this morning and I observed something that bothered me in terms of how taxpayers' money are being wasted, I would call it, wasted. Now, I don't have any problem with giving the Bushes a job. But the Bushes should be clearing state property, not private property. I live in an area where I have frontage to the road. The Bushes never cut my grass. I cut my grass myself. I have a neighbor whose place I look after when he's not here. I also cut his grass. They come, they never cut our grass, but we cut our grass. The Ministry of the Inland Revenue, they have a list of everybody who owns property everywhere in Grenada, and they know who owns where and whose bush they're cutting. Why are taxpayers paying to clean in front people's private properties? And I'm not talking about the main roads, all kind of back roads. All kind of back roads they go cutting, and they're cutting all in people's land right up to the road. We are paying to cut that. Now, another irony was this. After they cut all the grass, the bush from the person's land, the bush is piled up there waiting for, for a truck to be paid to collect that bush and bring it to Perseverance. Why couldn't they just throw it back in the person's land but they just cut it? I don't understand. We are wasting money in this country. If the bushes are working, they should be paid. Now, there are some people are called environmental wardens. Who's a warden? A warden is somebody who enforces a rule or a regulation. What are the environmental wardens doing? They're going and cutting all in people's places. That's where the environmental warden should come in. They should work with that list of all the property owners who are not clearing in front of their properties and stick up a little something on a pole somewhere saying you have up to such and such a date to clear that bush in front there, failing which it will be cut by the same bushes at your expense. That's what the warden should be doing, looking at the people who are not taking care of the environment and enforcing the regulation of having them clear from the places. But the wardens are actually going and cut bush at our expense. See what the traffic wardens do? They enforce the traffic rules. To me, it's a total waste of taxpayers' money, and I feel aggrieved because I cut my grass, and when I don't have the time, I pay to cut my grass. But no, we're going all in back roads, all in side roads, cutting everybody's land, and we have the bush piled up there waiting to pay another truck with other people to collect that person's grass and bring it up to Perseverance for them.
Okay.
No, this is sad. This one just annoyed me this morning. Something has to be done about that waste of taxpayers' money. Please.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Thank you very much. Let me scroll through the social media before I go back to the landlines. All right. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I just want to endorse what Mr. Bernard has just said.
Yes, go ahead. That's it? Go ahead.
the thing about it is, right, people are becoming too selfish. I just want to lower my TV. Give me 1 sec.
Sure, no problem.
Yes, Blossom. I mean, I just cannot understand. I'm in my veranda this morning, and I'm looking at what is happening on the roadside. And my God, it bleeds my heart. It bleeds my heart to see what is happening, you know? And I think somebody ought to see these things. They ought to see these things. I know people have to live. I know people have to get $1. I know it's a festive time. I know they have kids. They have to get $1 to live. But my God, there must be something else that they can do. And I watch these people. We get people into very bad habits. I mean, you cut your yard. Why shouldn't you cut your gap? Why have you got to wait for the authorities to cut your gap for you? Cutting your gap is like cutting your yard. You make your whole place look good, right? And you just watch people just wasting time. And so mean. So mean. I see that this morning I looked at a little gang cut the roadside opposite me. The person has a hedge. They're fenced with chain link, and they have a hedge behind that on the roadside, just behind the link. And the person, they cut from the drain to go up to the hedge. And they left a strip under the hedge because this is a mark that they must do. That's waste of time. Waste of time. If you're going to cut the road, my God, how much it's going to take just past the weed eater, you know, and just make your job look complete. It's waste of time. Just waste of time. And the whole thing is just the mentality of these people, and it's just sickening to see our money just go just like that. Honestly, I'm very, very sorry, and I have no apologies for that. Okay.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Somebody, let me go to the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I went to the eye clinic, which has many steps. The elderly has to climb up. They can't see properly and they can't walk properly. My question is there an alternative for these people? If someone falls down these steps, who would be responsible for them? The Ministry of Health? Possibly. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Blossom.
Morning, Mr. Bido. How you do?
Well, just the easy listening and learning. But the thing is, again, let me go quick because why we don't want to waste time with people's time.
Right.
One thing about taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money, when you pay, if you buy a car, right, you know, and, well, I don't know how to say it, it's kind of complicated, but when you sell something for somebody, it's not yours anymore. So you have to pay tax, you know, to get your property alive, right? So let's say that our taxpayer money, if you don't want to pay tax, well, don't have your property. So this thing our taxpayers money and things like that, they're going wrong. Forget our taxpayers money. When you buy something, it's not yours anymore again, right? So this thing is our taxpayers' money. Forget all taxpayers' money. If you don't want to pay tax, don't have no property. So let's go in the bushing program right now. With this bushing business, it does have a lot of confusion on the road, saying about who could walk and who can walk and all them kind of thing like that. But then now, that's not the point. The point is now you're going to make an honest day work, right? So stop condemning people. And again, now I'm going to make an appeal towards motorists, right? When I see people caught in bush on the road, right, you know, slow down on the pace and the speed, right, because why it's very dangerous. And a lot of things I have to say. So let me leave it there right now. But before we leave it there, when you're going in Monroe Park tomorrow, right, well, I'm just giving you an advice. Work with some bottle of water because when you leave your house, you're not thirsty. When you reach where you're going, you know, and socialize, that time you'll get thirsty. So back to you on the air.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bido. Enjoy your day and your weekend. Thank you very much. All right, let me scroll. Somebody on Facebook says debushing has been around as long as I can remember. They were called Travo at one time and had to be on the job till 3 p.m. Some of the people complaining grew up on that. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How you do?
Great. Blossom, with due respect to Mr. Bido, Mr. Bido doesn't understand that it's taxpayers' money. When we say taxpayers' money, we, the people of Grenada, pay taxes, and on the basis of that, the government is run, and the country is run. So the people in the debushing program is being paid by the taxpayers' money of this country. Now, anytime they have debushing people or anything the government does, people are always saying government money and government funds and government material, all you wasting. They give all your material and all they have it under the house and government material. But let me tell this nation with due respect to everyone, it is not government because the 15 of them own this country. None of them, I ain't seen no will that no grandfather leave the Grenada in the possession for any one of them. All the resources of the country and the tax and everything that is in this country belongs to the people of Grenada and not the government. So when they talk about taxpayers' money, yes, taxpayers' money are spending to pay the debushers and to get goods and services and to contribute to the welfare of the nation. Now, a minister, well, I don't call them ministers because these people are public servants that I pay their salary, and I don't care who vexed. They're accountable to me. They don't like to hear that, but they are public servants. From Keith Mitchell right down, he's a chief public servant. Now, anytime you see they come on the radio and they say, government spending so much amount of money on a school, and government give you government give you this and government give you that. Now, I want to say, it's not government. It is the taxpayers' money of this country, people who are working hard. And anything that they give us, we don't have to thank them. We are paying these people. These people come to us for a job, and whatever they do, they have to do it. We don't have to thank them. This is our money. I wanted to get on the other day. I couldn't get on to talk to public servant Oliver Joseph and this locker room problem. Because, Blossom, you have been there on that program for the longest while. Not only you, Brenda, there, they had other announcers there. They go and see it was Galway and all of these public servants whose salary that I am paying. And only looking at the place, Lackalum is stinking up the place over and over. And you want to tell me Oliver Joseph, who is the representative for that area and the public servant, because apart from, he's always been his life, he's been a public servant, he should be ashamed that after all these years, Rollo and other people complaining, people coming and bringing their press, and nothing has been done to the people of Lackalum, who continues day after day, year after year to suffer with this stink, toilet, etc. Well, Oliver Joseph have a conscience. People vote you in to better their lives, not to jump up on a plane or have nice life. You know, it's just frustrating, and I want them to do, Oliver Joseph, I want them to do something about this Lackalone situation. And just remember, it's taxpayers' money that paying all of y'all, and y'all are doing us a favor because y'all working with us. We employ all you, put it in all your pipe and smoke it.
Okay, thank you very much. Somebody on WhatsApp says, in regards to the debushing, I think there should be a time for the workers to start, for example, 6 a.m., not at 4 a.m., disturbing people's sleep. They want to beat the rising of the sun. Another WhatsApper says, really, the eye clinic, there is access from the top road behind the clinic without steps. So to the person who had the concern about the steps for the elderly, there's another entrance on the top road behind the clinic, and there are no steps according to this WhatsApper. It's just a walkway. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
Blossom, I've always been against this debushing thing, actually. Why should government or the state be responsible for cleaning in front of my house? They shouldn't be. Now, I've lived in several countries around the world, including cold countries, where the owner of the property that along the road is responsible for cleaning the snow and everything like that. If anyone gets injured in front there, they would be responsible to be charged, actually. Now, debushing is a waste of money. people should be made responsible for cleaning the front house. There's a little community down in the south called Circular Drive. Everyone on Circular Drive clean their driveway, they clean the front of the house and everything like that. Government shouldn't have to come and do that. And, I mean, you can actually pay people to go and work on a farm or something like that, which is productive, but not go in and clean in front of someone else's house. And the time, I mean, we talk about wastage. This is wastage. I once raised it with one of the ministers of my own government, actually, NDC, and what he said to me, well, we have to find jobs for the people. Find productive jobs, not people cleaning bush on the side of the road, which in any case is unhygienic. But, I mean, we have to look at all those things. And, you know, I can't say it. Why should someone have to come and clean in front of my house for me? I mean, when are we going to wake up and do things which are meaningful? We talk about scarce resources. This is one of the biggest wastes. And, you know, people go out, what time? 6 o'clock and finish by 9 o'clock? Is that a day's work? No, Blossom. We have to look at this seriously. The bushing is a waste of funds, scarce resources, and we have to do something about it. Have a good day.
Thank you, caller. You have a good day as well. Somebody else. Let's see what is on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, yesterday I listened to Mr. Clement, and he was saying that we are in debt of $361 million, which meant we're in debt also $1 million per day for 1 year. By listening to him bring us a chill while the Prime Minister wanted to cut his time, and how the figures in the budget do not add up because people don't pay attention, so they will advantage the situation. How could our government be so cruel to its own people because they only see party and not reality of the advantage being taken on Grenadians? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I'm calling again about the Lackalum stuff right in front of my house.
Yes, sir. Good news?
No good news at all.
Oh my.
The Minister of Health said they'll do something up to now, up to this time. It turned like a ravine now. You're running constantly. Little children passing to go to school here. I mean, I am so surprised of this whole situation. Right in front of my house, inside my house, but sometimes I don't know where to go. Just to go outside, I stay inside because everywhere just smells so bad. I don't understand this people. Minister of Health, up to this time, nobody come to do nothing about this thing. It's right in front of my house, I'm telling you. I bring a picture and show the people in the ministry. Up to this time, they don't care about us, no? This is very bad. Thank you, Blossom. Have a birthday in Jesus' name.
Thank you, sir. I wish you have a better day as well. The reasoning that they may come with is that we were deep in preparation for budget. So now that the presentation in the lower house is finished, let's hope before Christmas at least. What I would call the Ministry of Health and leave a message for the minister as a reminder that he promised to look into the situation in Lackalum. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning, how you do?
This morning, I'm doing good.
I'm good.
I just want to make a little piece of input this morning.
Yes, please.
Concerning the bushing. I want to fully endorse the order before the last one on the bushing. I think there's a waste of resources as well. I remember when I was a little child, we had the prisoners and them going around and cleaning those overhangings and all those things that people are not responsible for. But now it's like in front of your yard, in front of the road, you have public workers, the Ministry of Works. You should pay people to clean the road, clean the drain. And I find the Ministry of Works, that money should go towards paying people full-time job, not this part-time thing and a partisan thing. You know, they need to pay the people to clean the front of the the roads and main roads and so recognize government as the main road. But in some people's house and things, I agree with community work, and neighbors should be home responsible. You know, citizens should be home responsible for cleaning their yard and their portion to the road, if you understand what I mean. So I don't agree with that portion thing at all. I think that is just wasting money, and they should pay people full-time in the Ministry of Works to do the extra cleaning that people are responsible for. And let the prisoners and them clean those overhangings and all those extra stuff that is bigger than the road. I also want to say that, I mean, in Ivan time, we learned something from the foreigners. When they use the military by the road, that they use something to protect ongoing traffic and people passing. And to this date, we have not known that for ourselves. We have not introduced that as part of the cleaning by the road. And ever so often, things get into people's cars and hit people's vehicles and break people's things. And they need to be mindful that they should do that. They should have some mesh or some baked plastic or something, what we saw in Ivan time, protecting ongoing traffic. And we need to address that because that is dangerous. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your day as well. I agree with you, especially on the protection part. Not all weed eater men are considerate enough to stop what they're doing and let the traffic and or pedestrians pass. I've seen it just this morning, actually, on my way into the studio in the Grand Dance area. Mr. Weed Eater just decide he's not stopping. And it's not, sometimes it's not always, my concern is not always for the vehicle, which could be expensive, but for my eyes. I've heard of reports of people, you know, passing the Weed Eater, whether it's stone or whatever, hitting people on their faces. I remember one person saying they were lucky that they were looking straight ahead because the stone hit them on the side of their eye. And not everybody is considerate or conscious that they need to at least hold up for the time being. They just figure, I'm doing my work, and that's that. Something I wanted to say about the in front of your house bit. In a conversation with one person, because I raised that same concern that they weed eat the property within the fence, and the portion outside of the fence is just left uncut. And he said to me, that is government property. I'm not responsible for it. And the thought came to mind, I don't think he's the only one that thinks that way. Because, you know, between your property and, let's say, the road or the drain, there's a little portion that we cannot develop as landowners because it's government land. You have to be so much feet away from the road. And he said to me, that's government property. I'm not responsible for it. So he's probably not the only one that thinks like that, which is why the debushing encompasses cleaning in front of other people's properties sometimes. Let me go to the Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, a couple weeks ago, Mr. Cox talked about moving the fire station in St. George's to another location. Yesterday, we saw a big fire in St. George's, and the quick response to put off that fire. Imagine the station was moved. God knows what would have happened. I think the plan to move the fire station should be reconsidered real hard. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, good morning.
Morning, how you do?
Something I want to say in this program. The people of this country has always been full, full, and bramble. Listen to me. In Victoria St. Mark's, my parish, just before election, Chicken Farm Project, that's for election for vote. Next election, Swim Fund Project, that is for vote. This is what they are custom doing. You see this thing in Lakalo? Just before election, they go attempt to do something. Blossom, the amount of soil I know torn in this country, the amount of helmet I see ministers put on the head in this country, they could put them in an open stone, sell them helmet. This country is a tomfoolery country led by Dr. Mitchell. They're tomfooling people. This is what you get in. Lies and tomfoolery. They're not real and truthful with the people. They're not telling the people the truth. Look the airport thing. The thing with WRLB, it reached to international arbitration. The government lose. They come in and tell you they cannot pay, they don't have the money they can pay. But how you could find money to pay the Chinese project on the airport? Look the social programs on them. The amount of money allocated to those people and them for doing nothing. But the hard-working people of this country, you asking them to forgo the 4%? What the ministers are forgoing? Instead of they forgo the last time they take more? Huh? And the hard-working people of this country who deserve the 4%, you're asking them to forgo it? Look at the 3-year program, the structural program they put on us. It finished how much years ago? Isn't the government taking people money illegal? Because if you say you have a 3-year program, after the 3-year program is supposed to cut. If you don't go back to Parliament to get approval for it to continue, that means you're taking people money illegal. When Brizen was there, this is Brizen, he had a 3-year structural adjustment program. As soon as the 3-year done, he take off all the taxes he put on the people. Why can happen now? They're taking people of this country for a fool, and they're going to continue fooling people with programs just before election. They will see something. They will say, I tell you that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Let me read one comment on the WhatsApp and then we're going to take the break. Somebody on WhatsApp says, our people should learn to listen. No one said the bushing should be stopped. The point the caller was making is that whenever possible, they should be paid by the owners of the property and not by the taxpayers. Let's take a break and then we're going to come back with Open Line Friday here on To The Point, Classic GBN. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? This is your boy Omi wishing everybody in Grenada, GBN, happy holidays, love, respect, stay safe. I'm out.
Feel good tax.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Feel good facts.
Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Welcome back to The Point. It's Open Line Friday here on the program. Let me read a WhatsApp before we go back to the landlines. Somebody on WhatsApp says, has the government increased the population of the poor and vulnerable by their policies of handouts and dependencies instead of empowering and creating sustainable jobs? Additionally, are many men compounding the problem by their free sex life of creating a number of single mother households and walking away without commitment? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, ladies. Season's greetings to you.
Thank you. Many happy returns.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like crabs in a barrel, we fight. What are we fighting for? It is embedded in our national anthem. Those who dislike Dr. Kit Mitchell administration, will they do or can they do any better? A true champion beats everyone that challenge him. In 36 years in northwestern Georgia, he has been there. And over 25 years as Prime Minister of this country. I just want the young people to be very careful of the NDC and the poor people that walks on the road. NDC are genuinely evil. Young people, be careful, all the wardens and everyone in every program in this Grenada. Carrico and P.T. Martin, be very, very, very careful of NDC. Thank you.
Hello, caller? I was going to ask if it's NDC or NNP, because if you're talking about the wardens, that falls under the current administration, which is led by the NNP. So I just wanted to verify if you really meant NDC or NNP. Somebody on Facebook says, just want to give a shout out to the fire department for being able to contain the fire yesterday. This could have been more disastrous if the fire had spread to the other buildings. Another Facebooker says, please let the people get their money for Christmas. The poor people depend upon the money to buy food. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
I would just summarize. I agree with what a lot of people have said, but I would add some more. Now, it bothers me to hear medical practitioners outlining the ill effects of the COVID, all the miseries that the COVID are causing or have caused. Yet for all, not only them, they are not even lowering their fees. They are not lowering their fees. Now is the time for them to help people. In fact, they are constantly taking the same fees. They know the miseries. They know what is likely to occur. They know that people become distressed, and consequently, they would become, as you would say, more sick, or perhaps more sicker. Now, when these things are happening, when for these people to lower their fee, not only them, the government could tell you also that, things are bad. And yet for all, maybe those who get in $20,000 a month or $10,000 a month are not saying, okay, let me take out some from this $10,000 a month and help the poor people who are suffering. Yet for all also, the ministers, those who are responsible for the tourist people who hired these poor people as waiters and this and that in the hotel. Some of them are not getting the money. They have not got the money in the NIS. And yet for all, the people who could make them pay, that's the people who employ the people that have not got the money. Yet for all, they are shielding them. Is this love? Does the doctor love the parents, the patient? They always get the money. Why not cut it down to half or 10%? The big businessmen, they are making profit. They have made profit on the people. Yet for all, well, I say, okay, I'm going to drop my goods because things are so bad as they say, as they claim. The government is claiming that too. So we have a right to lessen on fees. I mean, I'm not telling you that they have to lessen on taxes, but at the same time, they are still collecting. They have a right to collect. As we will see, they have a right. That is their duty. That's how they could run the country. But people should understand that they have to help. In fact, why should you give one person, two jobs, and you are claiming that perhaps the marketing board is nowhere on the road to success. But people who manage the marketing board maybe now have 2 and 3 jobs. What you telling me? What are you telling me?
Okay.
You love people? I know you're not cut me up because you don't like to hear that.
No, your time has expired.
Yeah, but some people have long time, long 2 minutes.
Everybody has the same amount of time. Thank you very much.
You must juke the clock and put it, juke the clock so you wouldn't guess what is 3 minutes and 2 minutes. You must juke the clock and stop it. And when the 3 minutes up, you have more concern.
Right now you're going on 3.5. Have a blessed day.
All right.
Everybody has the same time. When it's 2:55, I start to wind it down. Let me go back to the landline before I get to the Facebook comment. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my dear Blossom. How are you today?
Morning, I'm good.
No, I listen to talking about the road work and thing. The people do the cleanup and bushing by the side of the road in any case, you know. That bushing thing don't start today, you know. That was a popular survival in the 40s and the 50s, come all up to the 70s. And the only work here in Grenada was road work, public works in any case, and people want to do suburban work. That you only had in Grenada in the past years, you know. Just today you have people working in offices and black people working in the bank, and but that never happened in the past. That was survival for poor people, road work. Cause my grandfather was a road officer. My mom used to cook on the road. And we go to school and take care of the family and pay bills and things. We just work for the whole week in the days gone by. They work from Monday to Friday, and they getting paid every week or every fortnight. Also when they work on a Sunday and all on and the same stuff on the road, they just throw it back in the land. All the trees, they cut the tree back in the garden and things back in the garden is going to perseverance. They got a tree and this and the other and whatnot. That was a survival work in the past years. So if you change it today and they say, well, they're giving you a short period from 4 in the morning to 10 or the case may be, it's going to be sun. Because see, when you work in the sun for the whole day, your body is worn out and burn out. So if you work all in the morning or late in the evening, you save energy. And you will get a little survival. For example, $1 work besides the work and try to survive. And there is nobody investing money in Grenada to help people. Children live in school, they can't find work. So what do? You must survive. The government must give poor people a little survival on the road. And people who have the land, I mean, they find that petty to cutting for the gap. I'm joking. You're cleaning inside and you live in the side of the road, it's like government doing, and you'll house close to the road. Man, it's one of them petty. That will be thing. That will be one to go forward. I say we love the country and we patriotic and things to Grenada. Now, man, them need go in mental work country, man. Have a nice day.
Thank you, you too. Facebook comment. First, let me read this one. Somebody on Facebook says, how is it that some of us can't understand the issue is not about debushing, it's about value for money. People, it's about value for taxpayers' money. Please. Another Facebooker says, I take this opportunity to remind everyone about the true meaning of Christmas. The true meaning of Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. Christmas has become very commercialized, and generally people see Christmas as a time to eat and be merry. Some people work so hard in preparation for Christmas, and when the day comes, they are so exhausted they're unable to enjoy the day. Because of COVID-19, many churches would not be having the much anticipated Christmas services. This is absolutely no reason for people not to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. All right, let me go back to the landline. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
Blossom, just give me a little minute. I want to speak on the Child Protection Authority. I want to plead to them that when you take children out of trouble homes, know that you are putting them in trouble homes because you're putting them in the protection with, let's say, caregivers who don't know how to speak to children. If you want to connect to a child and help out a child, you need to go down to the level at where the child is at. Because there could be a child that's rude, you know. You don't know why it's a child problem. So these people need to be properly trained before they could go and handle children in homes. Blossom, a few years ago, there was this place called the Emergency Shelter in Tempe. It burned down now. I can't remember what year it burned down, but it burned down. And there used to be a place for troubled teenage girls with problems at the home, whether running away or you're experiencing abuse in the home. And after that facility was burned down in Tempe, they had to separate the girls to Bele Home, to a home in Mount Parnassus, and other homes. At that time, I think Sister Francis Nelson, a lady called Sister Francis, used to operate the Child Protection Authority, and that woman, they love all them children who come inside it, despite if you're rude or not. She liked every one of them. A new administration came in, and that same administration who came in, they took over with the intentions of making the whole facility as Bel Air, Child Welfare, Dorothy Hopkins. They tried to make it better than how Sister Francis had it. But what they did is do more bad than good. Because all those young girls, all those troubled teens who didn't have nowhere to go, who had different problems, they didn't have nowhere to go, they end up selling them out. They tell them they have to find place to go. 17, 18, 19-year-olds who didn't have nobody, no parents, nobody to look after them. These people, a guy, I don't remember his name, but he took over Child Welfare Authority and they changed it into Child Protections. And they send all the young girls out. Most of them have children right now by 5, 6 different men. They don't have no place to stay. There is a young guy who walks around, he begs you for money. If you don't give him, he costs you. He has a problem. He has a problem, and the administration or whoever took over child welfare and sent out all these children and them, they didn't do a good job. Because right now, most of the children suffering. They're on the streets. They have to beg. They don't have nobody. They didn't have nobody. The worst thing these people could have done was push out Sister Francis and take over because they think they was trying to make it better, but they make it worse. I need the Child Welfare Authority or the Child Protection Authority to, these files they have in the office, they need to reach out to these young men and young women that they send out into this world without nobody. They need to look out and reach out to them and find out what happened to them and try to help them out because most of them suffering. They don't have nobody and it's not their fault. It was the duty of the Child Protection Authority to protect them and to make sure that when they're of age, they could have something to show for themselves. Have a very good day.
Thank you. You enjoy yours as well. Let me go to a Facebook comment. The politicians came to us asking for a job in which we voted them in, but why when they're in office are forgotten who put them there? Look, for instance, a budget. Nothing in it for the people, everyday life presently. But all we know is how much loans we're getting for foreign institutions. Up to now, we don't know the national debt, how much money we paid out, if there's a surplus, nothing at all. People are struggling to make ends meet, selling things here and there to keep their families because things are hard. Why do we keep putting the same people back in power and they don't care about the welfare of its people? If we in the diaspora don't send a barrel or two to assist our families, what will become of them home? And what about those who don't have anyone in the diaspora? Then dog eat their supper. Sad way of life in Grenada. Let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I believe the reason why the people of Lakaloma are treated that way is that the NNP was not responsible for the placement of the persons there. Sad. Another WhatsApper says, if it is true, we on lockdown or curfew for the Christmas. So, if so, what's the reason? Stop making things more hard for people. Oh, is it true we are on lockdown or curfew for the Christmas? If so, what's the reason? Stop making things more hard for people. I have not heard of that. It could be that you are referring to a picture that was circulated on social media maybe last week or week before that spoke about the Ministry of Health and Wellness and restrictions in place for Christmas. Those restrictions came from Jamaica. It was a picture of the the stipulations highlighted by the Prime Minister Andrew Holness for Jamaica, and somebody cropped out the name of the country and so on. They just sent wrong that portion of the information, and Grenadians started to think that it would mean lockdown for Grenada. If that's what you're referring to, it's from Jamaica. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and how are you this morning?
Morning, I'm good. How you do?
Not bad.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I have one problem with this debushing program. Very simple one. Now I clean outside my house too. Even last week I spent money to clean outside my front door. But the debushing program is good. The problem is, I think the government should send a truck to pick up the grass after they cut, because they cut the grass and they make heaps, they pile it up. Now it's not time like before you could have laid dry and burn it. This been away from that now. Now they cut aside my door, which my door is very clean, but the edges on the next side of the road, they cut it. And all the grass is piled up there. So it makes no sense they cut it, because they cut it and it's remained there. They need a truck to come and take it away now. They used to do it not long ago, but I don't know what happened now about it. But they used to pick it up with a truck, I remember. But the pushing program is a good idea. It's a very good idea. That's all for now, my dear.
Thank you very much. WhatsApp, somebody says authorities need to look into the construction of small wooden structures being erected along the public road purporting to be shops. These mostly wooden structures attract nothing good. They are also a nuisance to the residents, as noise coming from their patrons and amplified music is constant. Some of these shops go for at least 36 hours at a time, with music blasting with no consideration given to the residents. It is especially disruptive at night. Facebook says, how is it that some of us can't understand the issue? Oh, I read that one, sorry. You all keep complaining about the debushers and your cars, but you all should respect the workers and slow down when passing. In this country, all motorists must slow down when passing these workers. Okay, just let me see if I can read the rest of the comments on WhatsApp before we end. Somebody says, and are we satisfied to be still where we were 60 years ago? Is that development? How come foreigners come here and get assistance to develop and advance before the locals? Another WhatsApper says, the people know that the man in Lakalome is not for the NNP, so he is on the lower echelon of our society. He has to wait and beg, perhaps by the next election. As to road work, the people these days will kill for a 6 or 8 week work each year because their government is in power. This is so dumb. WhatsApp, to clarify the... Somebody's clarifying I think the two callers before the last, the lady. Just to clarify, the home in Tempe did not burn down. It was a house that was rented and a room was set on fire and it was put out and the authority relocated. The house is there and is habited because it was sold. They're my neighbors. Inhabited. Another WhatsApp, two more comments on the WhatsApp. I want to congratulate the firemen that saved us a major catastrophe yesterday with limited training and equipment. Hats off to you brave officers. A message to Mr. Antoine: when he is on programs, the majority of Grenadians don't really understand what he is saying. He has to be more simple when he speaks so that people will understand him. Which Antoine, just so we could have an understanding? A few come to mind. Just to clarify. So let me make it the last see-through, not on YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Right, so I've gotten to all the comments. It's time to end the program here. Thank you so much for participating once again in Open Line Friday on To The Point. Always appreciate your time and your listenership. When are we going to have the Minister of Carriacou on? Whenever she is made available. The request has been put in, but it is really up to the government whom they send to appear on their slots on Wednesdays. Sometimes I know on Monday, sometimes I don't know until Tuesday. The request is made, it's up to the government. So if there's anyone listening, again, a request for the Minister of Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs, Kindra Mathurin Stewart, to appear on To The Point. Oh, Dr. Patrick Antoine is the person was referring to, that he needs to be more simple when he speaks so people can understand him. Have yourselves a safe and productive weekend. Janelle and Joseph are up next with Christmas Caravan. Be safe. Continue to practice the protocols. Your masks, hand sanitizers, rid your surroundings of the stagnant water. Dengue fever is still rampant out there. And continue to love yourselves and each other. Have yourselves a good Friday and a blessed and safe weekend.